Hello everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Strategy. In the previous episode, we covered these 5 levels, and in this episode, we're going to be going over Don't Look Down, Groove Rules, Beat Beat, and leading to the boss level, Big Sexy Beast, and Glorg himself stepping on Tokyo. And as usual, we're going to start off on Don't Look Down. Things are going to be a little bit odd from here on. Right here, this part is pretty straightforward. You just gotta, like, stomp at the right time and jump and not jump out. And, yeah, there's a lot of these, floating guys here. I don't know if they're exactly frogs, but they're a bit dangerous sometimes. And right here, you can see you actually have to stomp to get across the platform. This is where things start getting annoying. And there are a few times where I accidentally, reset. But that's the only time. And now we're getting to the part where I actually do win it. You want to be sure to time it just right. You don't want to stomp until you actually get to that specific part. And I felt it important to reset level because I died plenty of times this, and I want to actually better my score, so to say. And further on, we are going to experience some frustrating bits that took me a lot longer than they should have. But overall, this level is pretty short. That's really the only challenge in it. Right there, you can see you can like do some special thing for the star, but since I already got it, I don't need to. And on to the next level. And once again, we're introduced with the same song we were in the previous level. This level is basically the same as the other one, except, yeah, there's a little bit more laser racing, but other than that, there's not really much else. It's a pretty short level. And actually, here is where my frames start doing frame skips and everything, and it gets like very difficult to actually accomplish because every time I reset the checkpoint there are all those flashing lights and everything, so it actually like ruined the video and it ruined my experience as well. It made it a bit difficult at times as well. But right here you can see I actually do make it this time and finally make it on this checkpoint, so I don't have to worry about it too much. But I do die plenty of times at this part though, because you know, you gotta like jump at the right exact moment, and you also gotta race the lasers that are coming in the way. See right there, I actually had to stomp like as soon as I was right over it. It gets pretty difficult, and if you're not careful, you can actually get hit by the laser there in the back. Now here, I died quite a few times because, you know, you gotta like jump at the right time with those exploding platforms, mainly because you have to be sure to be under the laser plenty of times. Now in this level you're floating quite a bit. It's mostly because you have to stomp in order to actually progress through the level at all. So you gotta make sure you jump and land at the right time, otherwise you're just not even gonna make it. Because it's one of those auto-scrolling levels, so in order to actually, you know, win, you have to wait for the screen to go forward, and if you take too long, you might actually end up at the back of the screen. I actually got very lucky here sometimes, so yeah, let's like right there. This is where I started racing the wall because it continuously is catching up to me until I finally get into that one little area, and then, you know, at that point I'm actually doing pretty good. Now here you can actually jump over a lot of these small platforms here as well, and here's where you actually have to stomp before you get too high because you don't hit the lasers. And stomping is very important. Now here's where you actually teleport. I did die once or twice here, but it's pretty easy. You know, once you, because if you reset the checkpoint, you notice that they don't even spawn yet. And once you, like, kill one of those, you can get out pretty simply. Because if you just keep going at it and let them live, they're going to keep a lot of problems. And this is basically the end of the level. I mean, you don't really have to do much. You just gotta, like, stomp as you go down. You don't have to kill all of them, but it does help, and you also have to move pretty quick. Now onto the boss stage. This is one of the parts where it gets kind of confusing because the artifacts that you need, or runes that you need to collect, they're a bit procedurally generated, so it depends on where you are is where they'll spawn at. Also comes in for the enemies, because the more runes you collect, the more dangerous the level will become. And I did not make it too well over this part. I actually had to reset my recording, but as you can see, every time you collect a rune, more dangerous enemies are going to spawn, and more bad areas are going to be taking effect as well. See here, I had to actually like go around So in order to actually be able to get to that final rune, I had to jump carefully and avoid those mines. It does depend though where the mines are going to be placed though. And here you can see I actually beat the level. And now we're going on to the final level of Chapter 2, where we fight Glorg, the guy who's stomping down Tokyo. This part, this is like the hardest level for me at all throughout the entire game. I don't know why. This is the one I died the most on, even though if you looked at the preset I got 3. I just got incredibly lucky. I think it just takes like patience, because I actually had to stop playing for a while to actually be able to play the level again. But as you can see, the starting is pretty simple, straightforward, but as you get down into the later bits, yeah. Also, something I didn't mention is that if he gets too close to you, he'll start shooting lasers at you, and he will not stop. So you want to like keep going forward, stomping those ghosts, I guess. And here's like the bit that's always infuriating, because you have to kill those laser cats once the lasers shoot up, and you have to time it exactly right, because otherwise they're just gonna like kill you instantly. So you gotta time yourself almost perfectly per pixel in order to actually not get killed by those. I did lose my temper quite a bit. This took me probably about 14 minutes to beat, but luckily with the magic editing I'm able to shorten it down to at least 2 minutes. Or at least so it seems. I am going to show some of my deaths though, so you can see like how it goes. So right here is where I died a lot, because I was panicking and was close to him. But yeah, this part is not as simple. Although this bit down there, you have to time yourself in the right way. You can't just rush forward and expect to get it, because you have to like be right behind him, or you have to stomp right on him in order to actually kill him, because you can't progress without killing it. There you go. So this is basically all that is left in the level. If you can just bob and weave through those missiles, you're good to go. So all you really need to do is just avoid getting hit. And there I actually managed to avoid the lasers, luckily. Even though I got hit, I still got the checkpoint. And as you can see, Glorg has finally met his true love. Therefore, they are no longer a threat to you, and you can move on to the final stage, which is where you will meet your final demise, the guy who stole your butt, the evil wizard, in the Red Level Chapter 3! I'll see you all next time.